Hello, everybody. I'm back, and what I wanted to talk about today, as you're seeing in the background, hopefully, assuming I can properly fucking edit it on my shitty pirated copy of Premiere Pro, is a gameplay from the enemy's point of view. Actually, you'll see me. I heal people in the Mercy on Team 2. I ran into this Widowmaker playing a game of ranked, and as you can see, Widowmaker went insane here. Now, this is in Masters 4, I think. One of the first games I played of this new season. I've played a lot less ranked as time has gone on. But regardless, looking at it, you can see that this Widow, immediately has a hot start. And I was pissed. I was so pissed playing. Oh my God. I was not happy. You'll see it again, just especially on this map. I mean, my goodness, it's the perfect sightline. She has all the free space in the world, and we can see they went Winston to try and dive there, but it just didn't matter. I mean, if Winston couldn't get to her, we do get lucky, we do kill her a few times. But anyways, the focus of this video was to talk about Widowmaker in Overwatch in her current state. And I know there's been a lot of heated discourse, whether it's like, can Widowmaker exist in 5v5, and do one shots, should one shots be in Overwatch? And I mean, I will make it very clear that I am of the party that says that it cannot. I mean, if you guys played Overwatch 2 Season 1, where Sojourner was released, and she was like this, she was very strong. I mean, especially with the Mercy damage boost, she was one hitting people with a fully charged railgun, and when she had her ult, I mean, it was, my God, it was just a better version of Widowmaker. So we obviously know that headshots are very strong, and you can see it here. I mean, it's just, I mean, I got a little angry there, and I went at her, so I deserve to die, but my goodness, I mean, a good Widow is just oppressive. And we had a tank who was playing, I mean, you saw the Winston, they went to Orisa, and they couldn't help make any space for us just because that Widowmaker is so strong. But I mean, even then, it begs the question, can one shots belong in Overwatch? We've seen a lot of balance throughout Overwatch's its entire lifespan. Heroes like Ashe, Widowmaker, Hanzo now too. Either way, it's just a lot of conversation around these one-shot headshots, and Widow is the most egregious offender, in my opinion, because I wasn't sure if this person was zimming or cheating at some other point, because they were just, every once in a while you run into these really good Widows that are just shutting us down. And I mean, the question becomes, is it like oppressive? Is it too oppressive? Can it be counterplayed? And I mean, a lot of people will say, oh, play Winston and play dive, diva, anything to sort of single her out. But as you see, for the majority of this gameplay here, this Widow will have a Mercy just sitting on her, and it's just die, revive, and then it's just you have to kill her twice every team fight. And some people will put that on Mercy and say that Mercy's contributing to this unhealthy play style. But I'm of the opinion, and maybe it's biased, that Widowmaker is a problem, and I don't know how you solve this problem, if there is a way to solve it per se, without replicating what happened to Roadhog, where you take away their one-shot ability and they sort of just become useless. I mean, I know a lot of people will still play Roadhog, that they'll try to. Shout out to anybody who still mains Roadhog. You're better than I am, because I sure as hell can't do it. But that's where the Overwatch team is stuck with this very tough decision of how do we handle moving forward with this character. Because obviously Widowmaker has been, especially in higher ranks, when people are either zimming or they're just fantastic playing at this high sense, like right there, the Sojourn all up in her face doing her best to close the gap, and just gets headshotted. And you could say that's a skill issue. You could call it whatever you want. You could say, end of the day, this Widow is just better, which could be true, but it's just very tough. It just doesn't feel good to play against. In a game like this, where the gameplay loop is everything, you have to consider that maybe Widowmaker is just so bad for this gameplay loop that it's just, she doesn't fit in with how the game is currently structured. And you obviously, removing her completely from the game is obviously, it's a crazy knee-jerk reaction to how strong she is, given her even her lore implications. If you don't want to just if you're not concerned with removing her and losing access to her purely from like a player content perspective. But Either way, it's just, I mean, I believe she's strong. And maybe it's some sort of recency bias where I come across a fantastic Widow who absolutely just ruins my day. And I mean, and you saw in that very beginning clip, two of us died immediately. And it was that moment I was like, okay, great. Odds are we don't win this unless we can shut down the Widow. We just couldn't, because shutting down a good Widow requires so much. I mean, you saw our tank. I mean, our tank wasn't particularly great, but even then, they were a non-factor almost. So I mean, where does that leave us? I mean, we're at this stage in the game where it's hard to balance. Not even just the balance. It's hard just to look at Widow as a character and be like, yes, I enjoy facing. It's not that we have to enjoy playing against certain characters. It's just that, my God, it's just no character since season 1 Sojourn is hitting like this, especially at high ranks where you run into these people who are actually good. I know a lot of people will point out that, oh, in low ranks, Widow is often a throw pick, and that's true to a certain degree, because I mean, it's just that you're not getting the same skill level, same level of impact from those lower ranked Widow players. No offense to them, they're not doing anything wrong. It's just people will point out that Widow has a high skill ceiling, and that's why you see such oppressive gameplay from her. And I mean, that totally does make sense, but it's just like, you'll see in a match, like in most Overwatch matches are at least 15-20 minutes long, if it's like a good back and forth and we're fighting equally. This game was about 7 minutes long, and it's literally the definition of getting rolled. You want to look at what getting rolled looks like? It was this. I attribute a lot of that to the Widowmaker, because it's just, the Widowmaker was just better, unfortunately. A lot better. And I mean, if you take that same player, that same level of skill, same accuracy, same game sense, and you throw them on any other character in the game, I don't think they're able to be nearly as oppressive. So that leads me to believe more of the character problem than a skill issue. And what does that mean for Widowmaker? Hell if I know. I'm just hoping the devs at Overwatch and their hero balancing team has some sort of idea, because especially at these higher ranks, and I'll admit, Masters 4 isn't even that high, but when you get this high, and it feels wrong. It's the best way I can phrase it. So I mean, if you guys have any insight into what you think will happen or what you think should happen, if I'm right, if I'm wrong, let me know, because obviously this is a hot topic, but I'm interested in hearing what you guys have to say.